I have been with the district for approximately 28 years. I started out as a PE aide over at Bay Haven School of Basics Plus, my first experience. And after that, I was very fortunate to be offered a binder at that time that guaranteed a teaching position. My undergraduate degree is in hospitality management, so I wanted to get back or get into teaching here in Sarasota, so I accepted that position. And I was down at Northport Glen Allen for approximately 4 years. And it was during a time when it was the only school in Northport. And I since transferred back to the district where I've served at Booker Middle School and Emma E. I have been a first grade teacher, a reading specialist, a behavior specialist, a math teacher, and a reading teacher, always moving up towards leadership. And approximately 10 years ago, I accepted my first position as an assistant principal at Riverview High School. And I was there for 2 years. And then I went over to Phoenix Academy where I served for 4 years, and I was there as an assistant principal. Then I became the principal. And then finally I landed a dream job, and that's here at Booker High School. I am in my 6th year here as a principal of Booker High School. I don't think it was an idea that I captured. I think my performance, my action showed that I had leadership qualities. I think the first person that recognized my leadership outside of being a behavior specialist at Emma E. Booker and then at the time at Booker Middle School, it was Wilma Hamilton. She had asked if I had ever considered going into leadership, and it was during a time when I was at Booker Middle School, and that's when I first started pursuing leadership opportunities, and I went and got my master's in that area, and I decided, I can do this, and I fell in love with it. I graduated from Riverview High School in 1984. Yes, I'm telling my age, but I did, and I absolutely loved Riverview High School experience as a student. I went to Bethune-Cookman College at the time, now it's university, where I received my Bachelor of Arts in the area of hospitality management. While I was in school, my mom said over and over again, you should consider being a teacher. And apparently, during my youth, she recalled incidents and activities where I was always the one in charge. I had an older sister, but I was always given the responsibility. And it's probably something she saw in me that I did not necessarily see in myself. And then over time, I just decided, maybe, just perhaps maybe. And then I continued to move up, and now here I am. There is a strong alignment because in the area of hospitality, it's always customer service. And yes, customers are always right, but you always want to listen and you want to understand their areas of concerns when they have some. So it's about pleasing people. And naturally, I was able to transfer some of those skills into my leadership style. And people often refer to me as someone who is relatable and build relationships with people. And yes, there's the bell, the joy of being in a high school. I miss it during the summers, to be honest with you. And I realize now that a lot of that came from that experience being in hospitality management. My staff and my students, and especially my assistant principals, and sometimes my teachers will say, one flaw that I have is that I'm always listening, and I take a lot of time to listen, and it usually pushes me back with my schedule. So I'm always running late to something because it's very important to understand where people are coming from or their issues and concerns. And if I don't take time to listen, then I cannot make an informed decision or guide them through that process. So I spend a lot of time on campus during the day employing those skills that I've learned, and as a result, my evenings are sometimes long because I really don't begin working until later because I really need to take time to listen to my staff, listen to my students, listen to my parents, and then being able to come up with some type of solution. So there's a strong tie-in to that particular skill that I did learn while in college. I did not want to be the principal of Booker High School. I thought that I would be the principal for Booker Middle School, perhaps. So my goal was to work really closely with administrators at the district office. I even purchased land near that school because that's where I thought I was going to land. And when this position became available, I decided at the 25th hour, after some personal things going on, that I should go ahead and apply. And I did. I applied for the position. When I applied for the position, I knew that I wanted to make a difference in the lives of students. I knew that. I thought that I had the skill set to do that. I take it personal as I lead Booker High School because my father graduated from Booker High School back in 1956. So at times I feel as though I'm standing on the shoulders of the local community and the members that played a major impact on when the school was started way back in 1912. So prior to coming on board, I heard of Emma E. Booker. I did not know her story. I did not know the story of Booker High School and how it exists and when we went to fine arts. I learned all of that while I was here. But what really changed me, it did not occur in my first year nor in my second year. I knew I wanted to make a difference. When I came to this school, I realized that in addition to all the academics, there were pieces that were missing. And what was missing is life development, life skills and management. And what do you do with kids or a school where you have 70% of the students that may be at risk because of their socioeconomic status? What is it that I really want from them? So my second, third year, I began to create this vision. And the vision came from research and countless hours of research is what needs to happen so that when these students leave Booker High School, yes, they're graduating. That's an expectation that they graduate from high school. But then what? Then the vision became they need to graduate college or career ready. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that when they finish Booker High School, they need to walk out of our doors and be prepared immediately to enter the workforce and make above minimum wage or be ready to go to college and be successful. Well, what did that really mean? And as I began to change, and now we're into year 4, year 5, this is my 6th year here, it was beginning of year 4 that I began to capture what the message was. The message was for me, I did not want our students to finish and end up in poverty as adults. And so that became the vision, and the vision led to goals, and the goals led to programs, and the programs led to resources and opportunities and connections. So what changed me is that philosophy. Do I believe that every student can go to college? Yes. Do I believe that every kid should? It's up to their individual choice. So that changed my entire concept, and it changed me. And it has surfaced in everything that we plan and organize. It's always number 1. Is it aligned to the vision? Number 2, is it good for students? So that began to change me. Something else that changed over time, and I don't know when it happened. I just realized probably last year, you used to have different opinions and views as relates to diversity, as it relates to being inclusive, as it relates to listening to our students and realizing they're not just students, they're critical thinkers and they are problem solvers. And sometimes because of the vast connections that they have with the media and with the internet and speaking to people about social change, I realized that I became more and more student-centered and student-focused. So that changed over time. So everything from, you asked the question about what changed me, it was the belief system that in order to make an impact, change students' trajectory in life, we had to make sure they're finishing college and career ready. And I was able to capture that and visualize that. That's number 1. Number 2, it was the diversity and including all of our students. And we are a full inclusive school. People say that we are a diversified school with diversified options, but options in everything, whether you're in our VPA program or you are in our athletic program or the Law Academy or the ACE program, we try to offer a variety of things for our students. And then that was the last piece that I mentioned, and that is becoming more and more student-centered. What changed me is having an opportunity to listen to and connect with students. It goes back to what I said earlier when I said that I believe I'm more student-centered. Because I'm more student-centered, I get involved in the conversations that I have with them, and it's not uncommon for me to become more emotional. I think I'm a lot more emotional because I understand the struggles and the opportunities sometimes for my students. And I get upset when I don't think sometimes they recognize their potential. And before, I don't think I necessarily considered that to be a quality or personality trait. Okay, these are the opportunities you wanted, you don't, I'm so sorry, we have to go on. But no, now I take a step back. And what's changed over time is that student-centered activity, or that student-centered concept, because when kids now talk, when we're at the show, Fiddler on the Roof, excuse me, but I have to share this, and we're seeing this wonderful, amazing show. But what I know, the students on that particular stage, either they were stagecraft students, or they were part of scenery, or they were acting, or they helped make the mask. I know their stories and their struggles, so that is beginning to change and maybe perhaps soften me a little. So now I understand a lot more about the students and realize that it's okay to recognize them as individuals. It's okay to say that I have to treat that student the way they need to be treated, which may not be, Kim, it may not be how all students should be treated, but for this particular student. So as a result, sometimes I find that my consequences may differ based on the need of that student. That change. Yes, we believe in fairness, we believe in everything should be equitable, but there are times because of their stories and because of the relationships that I have with them. Everything from students who are getting suspended. Before you're suspended, you make this poor choice, you complete this particular incident, here's a consequence. Now, well, wait a moment, Dr. Shelley, that consequence may not be something standard. It may be flexible. I really need to address the problem, and a part of addressing the problem is recognizing every individual student is different. Some students may like being suspended from school because they like being out in the community making poor choices. But for those kids, when you put them in in-school restriction, in that dungeon of a room, they absolutely hate it. Or if there's a perception problem or an excuse or a behavior, then how do we deal with that? That's what's changed me over time as well. It's personally changed me. What I am a reflection of the fact that first, we're excelling, and we're excelling across the board, but we are excelling because of the support that we have from the central office. So Booker High School administration team, we are a prime example of the support that we're getting from the entire district, whether it's professional development training, the resources, technology, and we come back and we implement those particular strategies on our campus, or whether it has to do with the community support. We have a lot of community support, from mentors to adopting our school and providing experiential learning opportunities that's aligned to the vision that don't normally exist. And that's a reflection of the school district, because you will find every school have some form of community and business partnership. So that's really good. We're a reflection of that. We are a reflection of the high quality of teaching that's necessary in order to move your school forward. We are truly a reflection of how we are attempting to close the achievement gap. And if you look at our data, and I was surprised by default that our data is really moving in the right direction. We are a reflection of the district goals as it relates to increased graduation rate across the board. That's hard work, and it's a testament to our hard work for me to be in this position, but I did not and could not do it alone. I must give credit to our teachers, our students, all staff members, the district support, my executive director, Mr. Cantis, and sometimes my ideas are out of the box. And he's always been supportive. And at the time, Superintendent Lori White, Dr. Shelley, you want to do what? Huh? Excuse me? But always the support there. And then quite naturally, this wonderful community. They have embraced Booker High School, and experiential learning opportunity that's not always covered by traditional funding has been monumental for my students and also for my staff. So I give credit to that. I am just getting started because we are taking care of Booker, but my mind is always wondering and thinking about other things we can do outside of Booker High School. I'd like to see how we intentionally, deliberately, purposefully include life development, life management, time management, those soft skills that are necessary to help our kids to be successful. Yes, the academics is very important, but those social skills are equally important. When you are at a school like mine where 70% are at risk, their parents are trying to work and pay the bills. So the kids may not get the skills that we know are necessary. Etiquette is another big one. How do we help? Yes, it's a parent responsibility. I get that. I understand that. But as I begin to think about this platform, those are some ideas that I like to continue to work towards so that not only are they college and career ready, but in order to really be that productive member of society, those are skills, in my opinion, that are absolutely necessary. All those communication skills are paramount in their success as adults, and that's the goal that I have. So we're rolling things out in phases. You know, we started with the academics, and now we're on the college and career readiness track. And eventually, that's going to become a reality, but we're working towards that. And our new superintendent, Dr. Bowden, he has talked about character development, and everything, if you notice what I'm talking about, falls up under that umbrella. So we're looking at an opportunity. You ask how were we a reflection of the district. Those opportunities that I mentioned will give us an opportunity to go a little bit further. And I know that's something that he wants to do. We just need time to implement it, so we're moving in stages. So we're really excited about this platform. And I think for me to be recognized as Sarasota County Principal of the Year, if I may, and then move on to the state level, it's going to give us an opportunity, a platform to share how we have been successful. The mere fact that I'm talking to you and will be talking to others, it shows that we can do it. When I say we, whether it's an African-American female, whether it's any minority, any person with a goal, a vision, and passion, and a supportive team, we can do anything. We live in the land of opportunity. You know, we live in America, and this is our country. And yes, there's been issues, and by far we have made a lot of progress, but we still have some more growth to make. But at the end of the day, you can do it. And what do I mean by that? We can make a positive impact on students' lives when we can get more and more of them graduating college and career ready and just setting goals, whatever goal you may have. It was not my goal to become a principal of the year, but it was my goal to move our school forward. It was a goal to make sure they're graduating college and career ready. And everyone knows, when they talk about Booker High School, they know because that's the vision. And given this opportunity to share that platform, how we did that, I can't wait to get to the details. But more importantly, you can do it. And that's what I think this particular title means more to me than anything. Believe in students, give them a clear direction, and make sure you are following through and being supportive. Those are things that I think are absolutely paramount. And then work with people that share that same vision and be able to lead and guide them down that path. Because at the end of the day, the students that we're working with now, they're going to be taking care of us 15, 20, 30 years later. And if we don't prepare them with the necessary critical thinking skills that's required, that's after, obviously, they believe in you, because once they believe in you and their vision, then they're going to be willing to work. And understand that every person that you work with is a unique individual. They bring something to the table. And so other than those things, no, just excited and grateful and humble. And again, I owe this particular award to my staff and the students, as well as the parents and the community members of Booker High School, all of our supporters. So thank you. Yes, I'm the one out front, but it would not be possible without their support.